on this computer. All right, hey everyone, this is Yonks with REtoken DAO. This is TokenTown Working Group number 3. I was just getting ready to fire off a new tweet. The team is growing fast over here and was working. This is one of the screenshots that I was going to include on the 7th tweet on this Twitter thread. This is the first Twitter thread on TokenTown DAO. So super excited for the agenda that we've got, and we're working, going to be working throughout the weekend. And let me pounce over here real quick to the project page. Here's our project page on GitHub, and that's one of the things hoping to have a little bit more structuring and conversation around today. So anyway, I'm wanting to fire off this tweet real quick. This is the REtoken. This is TokenTown Working Group number 3. We're going to be uploading. I've been so busy focusing on actual meat and potatoes that I haven't even got the videos from our previous 2 working groups. And make sure I have everybody on, and I'll try to do a good job. And Tyler, if you can help, if you're able to help with the who's participating here, so that we can get the POAPs out for this particular event. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead. If somebody wants to chime in or do a quick round of introductions while I'm working on getting this tweet out, that would be fabulous. I'm going to go ahead and mute and finish up this tweet.
I'll go ahead and take it. Blurs, why don't you go ahead and just give us a 30-second intro, who you are and anything that you want to share.
Hey, I'm Blurs Day. This is my first DAO that I have been a part of. I've been in crypto only since July of last year, and in DeFi only since September. That's when I created my MetaMask wallet, and that's my dog with her toy right when I'm talking. So I'm just looking forward to getting into this. DAOs are probably the future of what companies may very well be, and want to be on the ground floor of that, and this is a great project.
Okay, awesome. Crush, please give us a 30-second.
Okay, so I'm Crush, and this is also the first DAO I've ever been a part of, and I'm pretty new to crypto and DeFi. And I guess that's it.
An intro. Okay, great.
我进去了。
98387, can you please introduce?
我知道了，我看到。
Introduce yourself. Just anything you want to share, where you're from or what got you interested in DAOs, or
I think, is anybody else getting Robot Tyler, or is that just me?
Yeah, I'm getting it too.
I apologize for that. I'm driving right now. Is that any better?
Yeah.
Okay. 98387, are you talking right now? Because I can't hear you.
梯子呀，
iPhone is. Whoever that
你看
is.
一开机子它就连不上。
Okay. Brian D, did you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Brian D, are you there? Okay, well, go ahead. Poopster, did you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Poopster. I've been working in the DeFi community for a couple of years now. I'm a biz dev for several DeFi projects, including UMA Protocol, Harvest Finance. I'll stop there. I've been involved with launching several DAOs, and I think that I can provide a lot of support and assistance for the DAO from the, I guess, from the decentralized finance, treasury management side of things, and look forward to doing that here at REtoken.
Awesome. And thanks so much for all you do to build our community. Really appreciate you. I have somebody with, I think, Chinese or Japanese characters. I apologize, I don't know what language that is, but if you wanted to introduce yourself. Okay, we'll keep going. Amy, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Amy, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. And right now, this is my first DAO, but not my last, because I've been invited in other DAOs as of a month ago. And I'm in the solar farm space. When I got into this DAO, REtoken DAO, and I found that it kind of helped me visualize how to grow that side of the business as well as grow with this side of the business. So I'm really excited because this is actually seeing how the future will be and how it can be accessible to a lot of people.
Awesome. And thank you, Amy, for everything you do. And Amy and several other people were part of a winning grand prize hackathon that we won on GitHub. So thanks, Amy, for all your contributions to that also.
Was there anybody?
Fire, did you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just making sure that, and I see that we have a couple more, so I'm gonna go back on.
Yeah,
mute.
I'm just gonna go through the. I'm gonna go through the list, and if I skip anybody, just come back to them at the end. Esther, did you want to introduce yourself? Okay, we'll skip Esther. Sakura, did you want to introduce yourself? Pineapple, did you want to introduce yourself? Okay, if there's anybody that I missed the first time or that you joined, please unmute and introduce yourself. And if not, we'll, I'll throw in mine and then we'll move on. Okay, great. I'm Tyler Yonker, aka Mrs. Yonks, and I am married to the brilliant Hurricane Jason. And this is also my first round in DAOs, learning tons and tons about crypto, DeFi, decentralized governance. Super excited to be part of this project. My background is mostly financial and a little bit of political, and just really think this is wonderful to give people the opportunity to participate in ways that they've never been able to participate before. So over to you, Jan.
Well, I'm gonna skip introducing myself because I can rabble on and get into more of the meat and potatoes of things. And I know that we have some POAP lovers here. This is the POAP that we have, and with the participation that we have here for this one, I'm gonna actually make note. The claim code is, you're gonna have to claim for the POAP is TokenTown, just like it's spelled out here, capital T on TokenTown. It is case sensitive. That code doesn't work yet. I've got to get that set up. So that'll be one of the action items. I'll make an announcement in Discord when it's ready to go, but it's going to have to be facilitated with the app, the secret word, using your iOS or Android app. The claim code is TokenTown, and remind me to bring that up later in case some other people join. But wanting to make it easier than the manual distribution, and that's a new feature that POAP just released. So we've got a lot planned for the agenda here, and I'm actually going to bring open, this is our GitHub page, and that's one of the things. Does anybody else on the call right now have a decent amount of experience working with open source repos on GitHub?
I have limited access. experience with it. I have not like done formal like forking or anything, but like changing markdown documents, that's no big deal.
Yeah, and that's one of the things hoping to do here, Blurs, is we've kind of got this narrative page, and this is a very preliminary work in progress. And one of the things I was starting to play around with, didn't have enough opportunity to continue to go into that, was setting up a project page. And real quick before I go off on more on the GitHub is, if you haven't yet registered, this is probably the easiest opportunity that you're going to have to earn 50 REtoken, and that's only a limited opportunity. We've got the hardware and the software tracks, so make sure that you do for both, because we're only going to give 25 for the hardware or 25 for the software, 50 total. So make sure that you register for both, because we are submitting on both the hardware and the software tracks. And to go off on a slight tangent, we did have a great conversation with one of the, I think technically within this contest framework, they're called a connector. And that was one of the opportunities that we extend only to and when I say extend, the opportunity to participate in those conversations, because there's lots of additional conversations that are happening behind the scenes with solution partners. We need a lot of solution partners. So everybody put on your thinking caps as far as like, hey, would project XYZ or solar company ABC or whatever the case may be. And that's one of the things that I'm going to take the lead as far as trying to use a tool. And like one of the tools that I've seen some cool stuff with, and this actually came up briefly during the call earlier today, is Figma. And it's a really cool like floating or charting tool or something like that. I've seen some good, one of the, and I actually posted on the Discord, and it's worth taking a look at over here. It's in an area that doesn't get a whole lot. I think I put it in tokenomics. Yeah, so it's here in tokenomics. If you do a search in there for social tokens map, and that's one of the things that I would encourage everybody. The search functionality on Discord is amazing, and it'll pull up, like, as most of you noticed, I'm a huge fan of the threaded feature on Discord and just utilizing the search functionality. And that's something that I love hearing the feedback on, and I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for communicating. One of the items that we are going to have a more detailed working group here soon is a tools conversation. So there's so many tools that we can use to collaborate, make things prettier, fancier, better, whatever. Like, it's an unlimited list. Everybody loves tools, and everybody loves creating new tools to solve problems that we didn't even know existed. Anyway, the social tokens map was done in Figma, and I'm not going to pull it up right now because I want to get on with our agenda. So I'm going to open up our Trello. This, for those that haven't seen, this is another opportunity right now. That's and for people that do like tools, like the more, and I don't even know what has existed or does exist as far as Discord and Trello integration. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller on the size here, but this is our public Trello board, and this is really where we use for tracking various tasks. And one of the things that I'm working on making sure is adequately communicated in Discord for the people that might not be on Trello is the tasks to earn REtoken. So that's, again, something that I'm going to commit at getting better at, and we're going to have more and more tasks for this project. And like, one of the things that I think would make a lot of sense is fostering conversations with potential solution partners. And that's one of the things that through the core team channel, and I'm going to bring that open back on our Discord real quick, is we have an official team channel right here. And that's something that gets you added to after you go through the process of officially signing up on our HeroX project page, which is linked all over the place in Discord and whatnot. So anyway, the working group here that we've got for today, and this is one of the posts that I made also, was this proposal items for today. This was one of the things trying to get a little better at here as well. Real quick, if everybody wants to jump in, if you could, it's in the voting and proposal section here. We've only had 4 people vote on that right now. And this is kind of a framework that we're wanting to utilize just to, you know, follow our governance mechanism that we have here within Discord. This is what we call the temp check. And like looking here on our voting proposal process, this is the thread, create the Discord thread. Step number 2 on the proposal workflow, temp check. So, and this is not necessarily, I've been doing a lot of this actually on Trello, just because the thing that's so fabulous about Trello is that it uses Markdown code, which is what GitHub uses natively, which is what Snapshot uses natively. And it's super simple. Like you can take a look and I'll show you here. So, and this is kind of like some decent formatting. You know, I've got some different headers and then it's got like some indentations. And you can see it's not really that complicated. Like a header is just a pound sign. That's and then if you want a subheader, like right here, 2 pound signs. And then, you know, a subheader, then it's 3. So it's not much more difficult than that. And then like some of the more advanced formatting, like this is an indentation, the little, what is that? The shift period or whatever. The greater than, I guess that's technically a greater than sign. And then like the italics, you know, just putting on the little asterisk. So that's how you get some of the nicer formatting. So this is this proposal here, this is one that I'm going to break out because this is a really important one in my opinion. This one here, update REtoken DAO LLC articles of organization with the Wyoming Secretary of State to reflect our current algorithmically managed DAO. So that's kind of some big words there. And I actually had on a text file with those words that I wanted to submit, and I'll put that in here on that. And I'll show you I think I've got that task mostly completed here as far as the, where was that one at? Right here. And I'm gonna actually add the verbiage, which is right there. So let's take a look. And I'll just put this since I've got it copy and pasted, I'll just throw it in the chat here too, so that everybody can see it real easy in the Zoom meeting. So that is our contract address for our Polygon, which I've got the link for the Polyscan. That's also information in the Start Here channel. This is another opportunity of improvement, is improving the onboarding workflow just to make it easier for people. And that's, again, something that I expect that we'll have more conversation in the forthcoming to be scheduled tools conversation. So I've been doing a lot of talking. This is the contract address that I referenced in the Zoom chat. And let me see if I can find that. I think I've got it right here. It is right here. So this is the, right here, the decentralized autonomous, the amendment that I'm going to print out, add my digital signature to, and send off to the Wyoming Secretary of State to move us from a member managed DAO to an algorithmically managed DAO. And you saw the verbiage there. You can take a look at the snapshot. Snapshot's the main system that we're using. That was one of the tools that we stood up during the Gitcoin Decentralized Governance Hackathon. So, real quick, and one of the other things that I want to put forward is, and I think I've got it, I don't even know if I do or not. I need to make sure that I get that scheduled, but we have on October the 4th, and I'll come back to that later, is the Gitcoin DGov Hackathon winner showcase. So this will be a great opportunity because our project is the grand prize winner, REtoken. We won the Decentralized Governance Hackathon, and that's the main meeting with Gitcoin and Boardroom. And one of the conversations that I'm also having with Tyler from Boardroom is working on getting their project featured on the DAO Hack, which is a sister/fun project of mine. There's another Discord channel in this server here, the DAO Hack under resources. any of the announcements that I do from that other Discord server will automatically get populated here. So this is, like I said, my fun project, great opportunity. And that's on the shelf right now. I'm focusing 100% of my efforts right now on the TokenTown so that we can knock down these, because it sounds like it's at least or 50K for the hardware track, and then 30K for the software track. And what was that Jedi thing? If somebody can speak on the Jedi thing, that because I wasn't a couple minutes, or somebody that knows more about that.
Yeah, the Jedi thing was about diversity. It was, I can't remember what it was, but the D is for diversity, and I think the I is for inclusion. So it's basically, it does this project serve women, people of color, LGBT, any other community that is considered marginalized. And one of the things that I actually think our tracks hit all of those is when the governors were dividing neighborhoods for opportunity zones, the communities that mostly got picked were in need of development, and there's a lot of crossover with people that need economic opportunities and communities that are marginalized. So there should naturally be a lot of crossover on this thing, and we just really need to highlight how, because of what and where our project is, people that are considered more voiceless are getting a voice through democratized governance, and people that haven't had as many economic opportunities are getting them because of opportunity zones. So we didn't even have to do anything to make our project fit Jedi. It just does. So it's really exciting on that.
Yeah, and one of the side conversations
And
that had, go ahead, Amy.
I think the J on that is justice, and the E is equality, and the DI, of course, Mrs. Young's already said that.
So there's, it's yeah, like Amy was indicating, it's an acronym, Jedi, like, you know, Star Wars stuff. So anyway, the going here to the proposal items. So this is kind of the agenda that we've got here. I was already talking about the REtoken articles of organization. That's actually one of the things that I want to do. And this is one that I am expecting nobody to say no on as far as the proposal process. It's a form that I've got to literally mail in using snail mail. Wyoming is pretty fabulous, and that's one of the things that you all will see here shortly as far as when we go through, because we're planning on having TokenTown DAO be an entire subsidiary of REtoken DAO. And kind of a good way to think of that is that this is a brand that we can own and functionally operate through TokenTown. And one of the ways that we're wanting to architect that is you know, anything related to HOA stuff, because basically really embracing the HOA Destroyer tagline, because the general consensus, shockingly, I mean, it's probably not shocking if people have, I haven't heard an amazing, like, hey, my HOA is so awesome story, but there's a lot of horror stories. So anyway, we're going to be focused on TokenTown for a while, and just the general excitement that I got, like one of the other side conversations that we had is with a regulation crowdfunding solution partner. And one of the reasons that regulation crowdfunding is super important to Tyler and I is that we are committed to reducing the barriers of entry. One of those barriers of entry in the financial world is that of accredited investors, where you have to make like over 300K a year, or have over $1 million in assets. And regulation crowdfunding is the securities regulation. There's also A and A plus, but the big one is Reg CF, because the time to market is less than with Reg A or Reg A plus deals. And that's one of the categories as far as like when we're architecting our software submission for this Hero X track is capital, because that's really, I think, the secret sauce that REtoken TokenTown is going to bring to the mix is capital. And that's actually somewhat of a painful point with Mrs. Yonks and I, and kind of our backstory as far as how we got here is that we were under contract with Crypto House Edgewater. At the 11th hour, our hard money lender pulled out of the deal. And anyway, we're here now. And that's the biggest opportunity, really, in my opinion, is the flipping the entire capital stack is what has existed. And you don't have to drive around too many areas that are doing new construction. I mean, there's a lot of people coming to Colorado. TokenTown is a project that we are, that's going to be one of the elements that is narrowed in for consideration. And one of the things that we're going to talk about here during this working group is how we're going to deliver on this NFT launch. Like I put it out here on the Twitter for TokenTown on this first tweet. Wrong picture. On this first tweet thread over here, where we're wanting to do an NFT launch for TokenTown. And like right here, that's, you know, hopefully we can put together a solution. And while I'm continuing to rabble through some of the agenda, this is something like Forefront resources. I'm gonna bring this and link it into the channel. Forefront, I'm a huge fan as far as the quality of materials that Forefront is putting forward. And they're also kind of a startup DAO that's getting some solid momentum. So anyway, NFTs. So I'm going to link this to you all. And so while I'm continuing to rabble through some of this agenda, we had a little bit of conversation on that yesterday. That's one of our bullet points over here on the agenda is NFT launch today. Today's Friday, October 1st. So I was going through a little bit with Mintbase, and the other thing besides looking at the Forefront, Mintbase isn't listed on here. Those that participated, I think Amy was on some of that for crowdcreate.us. That's somebody I'm having some more conversations with. Here was when I'm saying having more conversations, they like the tweets that I was throwing down. I'm very interested in the quality of stuff. Like one of the things too that we, and this is a slight tangent here, that we have on our roadmap is to deploy or to develop a real estate tokenization virtual summit. And one of the things that we are wanting to do is to reduce some of the barriers of entry for the information. So the goal is to structure this virtual summit so that it can be free to everybody, but then through a value proposition dynamic. And this is one of the things that I think Amy said that you got your VIP upgrade for like $100. I paid $495. Whether we got the same VIP package or not, we can take that offline, Amy, because I'd love to hear that.
$97.
Yeah, well, and there was literally one segment that was with Mark Yusko and Brian. I think it was about a half an hour segment. And that alone, I feel, was absolutely worth the replay rights, for sure at $100 and potentially even at $500. So that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to. And we were actually, didn't even get to listen to session 2 because we were making other connections here in Colorado. So anyway, going back to the NFTs. So Zora is one that I was kind of particularly interested in. And the thoughts here, everybody, one of the things that's so fabulous about a project like TokenTown is that it's not necessarily, people aren't going to be acquiring the NFT to be a founding citizen of TokenTown because it's some pretty image. What that is providing, one of the things and that's something that I need to do as far as doing just some bullet points as far as what people can expect, because as you've seen, I'm a huge proponent of setting clear expectations, communicating and operating very transparently. So one of the benefits that we're going to have for the founding citizen is parcel selection. So we're going to come together. It's going to be a hybrid governance model with TokenTown. One thing that's of noteworthy for everybody here is that for people participating in our working groups, you've got REtoken opportunity. We're going to today create a social token for TokenTown, the mothership, the management DAO. And then also a third one is we're going to mint a token for TokenTown Colorado. And TokenTown Colorado is the one that's going to go that DAO is going to be the one that's going to be going through. That's the one that will do the NFT launch for. We're looking at creating an NFT launch, limiting it to 32 people. The reason behind 32, and we're doing 1 Ethereum. So 32 people, 1 Ethereum each. And the reason for the 32 and the 1 Ethereum is, for those that aren't aware, Ethereum is working on moving to Ethereum 2.0 architecture, more of a proof of stake, POS, proof of stake architecture. And with 32 Ethereum, we could collectively, super simple, set up a node. Now, we'll have more conversation with the people that say, hey, this sounds like an amazing project, I want to be a founding citizen. The other benefit is that these founding citizens will have parcel priority selection process. Don't even know what that's going to look like, but I'm anticipating that we'll have at least 32 parcel opportunities in TokenTown. And again, it'll be a hybrid governance for TokenTown, Colorado. But most importantly, for the people that are participating in our working groups, not 1, but 3 opportunities, because we're going to be rewarding in triplicate 50 retokens for people that are participating in the duration. And that's just one of the mechanisms. And to keep it simple, just going to have similar tokenomics for TokenTown DAO and TokenTown DAO Colorado. And think of TokenTown DAO Colorado kind of like a subsidiary DAO, and that's one of the things that kind of got broken down in our right here, TokenTown legal entity structure. And I'm going to make this a little bigger so it shows up on the video a little bit better. And before we do this step, and I can't remember if I got that in here, I'm not sure if I did or not, but before we actually do register the Wyoming DAO, it'll be easier for us to get online, because we did some of the stuff being the ENS domain shift and updates, did some stuff on yesterday's working group. If you're that interested, you have to watch the replay. So why that's important as far as minting the social tokens and setting up Snapshot. And again, that's one of the things that we've got on the list here for doing, is that will allow us to be an algorithmically managed DAO out of the gate. Like going back over here to the update that's going to be making for REtoken DAO. This is like going to be a $60 piece of paperwork update, and I've got to like drive to the post office or put it in the mailbox, instead of just doing it as an algorithmically managed DAO. Because that's one of the things that we learned, like through the Gitcoin decentralized governance is, and then the thing that's so fabulous about Coinvice is that's a a social token platform that is very affordable to do, especially if you're minting tokens on the Polygon layer 2 off-chain, or the layer 2 solution for Ethereum, or whatever it's called. I don't exactly know. I know a lot of this stuff, but I don't necessarily know how it works in the back end, just that it does. And that's all that you need to know sometimes. So I'm going to stop talking and let people reflect on what our planned agenda is for today. And while I'm giving other people the opportunity to chime in, I was going to do this proposal over here on Snapshot so that you can see what that looks like.
Any initial thoughts on any of it? TokenTown Colorado, algorithmic management.
I'm happy to jump in here. I think that our biggest challenge is going to be actually just getting the word out about what we're doing to really truly kind of create a fair launch for TokenTown. So yeah, I think that's been the main thing that I've been trying to focus and consider. And then what's gonna happen if we get what happens when the 33rd person comes and signs up and says, hey, I want to be a part of this, do we start another node? I think that those are things that we'll need to kind of take into consideration, because I do think that there's going to be a lot more than just 32 people who are going to want to be a part of this. In fact, I think that I think I could probably bring 32 people myself. So yeah, I think that one of the big things for us is going to be just kind of getting the word out there and letting people know about this opportunity.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Poopster. Thank you. You know, we do our announcement in Clubhouse real easy. Everybody there has Ethereum, I guess, and Bitcoin.
Yeah, I was just kind of speaking to like the greater community, like the world, I guess. You know, I know that it's not gonna, of course, we're not gonna get everybody's attention, but I would like to expand that, you know, however we can to as the broadest audience possible.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I want to go back on one thing you said just for the vocabulary. If you guys aren't familiar with the crypto term fair launch, it's trying not to assign all the tokens or all the value to the insiders first. So we launched REtoken with 10 million tokens, and it would be basically saying we're going to take 5 million and split them among the founders, and we're going to launch with 5 million after we've already taken our share, versus saying everybody gets to earn at the same level, everybody gets to buy in at the same level. That's a fair launch. That was something that, if you guys aren't familiar with, that's what we're talking about. The other thing is, Poopster, I think those are really good points, and we could definitely make a proposal to say the first 32 get the priority on the parcel, and then we could say 32 standard non-founding tokens are convertible to a founding citizen later on, or whatever, if we wanted to do that, or we could start a second node. But the
right now though, I would rather, because these are all conversations that I'm wanting to shelve until we have the 32 people, because ultimately it'll be up to those 32 people that said, hey, I want to be a part of this. And right now we need to focus on like, what tool are we going to use for doing our NFT launch? I mean, because it's October 1st, it's like almost 5 o'clock Eastern time. And I would really like to see us deliver here on today's working group and decide on what tool that we're going to put in place for that and launch this. And like, one of the things that's so fabulous about this is that, you know, my understanding is if we want to, you know, say, hey, let's make a more badass NFT, like, because right now I'm not a graphic artist or something, but like the opportunity for us to potentially like update it or burn that smart contract. And that's the thing, is that we a lot of these decisions we don't have the proper audience for right now, because those are all the decisions that can be made. And it's fabulous that everybody is so optimistic, like, hey, let's talk about what we're going to do for the next one. That's why that we're structuring TokenTown DAO as a Wyoming DAO, and then TokenTown Colorado is going to be kind of like a child DAO. And we're going to build, that's why we're going to have 2 different social tokens to represent that, because while it's going to be kind of like together right now, over time it's gonna morph, because like the mothership DAO, as you will, could potentially be more geared and thinking as far as like, hey, how can we make this easier? Hey, what are some opportunities to potentially, you know, really change and really follow through with the ethos there of being the HOA Destroyer? Like, that's the thing that's so fabulous about like delivering on this initial concept, but then also being thoughtful while we're creating this, of creating it in a manner that we can scale in whatever. Because like, to be clear, Tyler and I mean, like, we are legitimate, on the record, like full-time travelers, and like our driver license is South Dakota, and we're functionally living out of a mailbox. So we want token towns all over the world. So let's create a framework here that we can scale, and let's talk about some NFT solutions. I mean, I threw out there Zora. Like, one of the other things everybody knows, if you know much about crypto and NFTs, that OpenSea is the big boy in the NFT market space. And Tyler and I are founding citizen NFT holders of City DAO, and that's one of the things that we've just leveraging some of our personal experience, not in a leadership capacity, but just in a founding citizen capacity. We've learned some things as far as how that we could, I believe, do a better job in some manners than what we've seen there. But anyway, like create, like here is the create page on what do you call it, OpenSea. And one of the things that I was wanting to do with this is see what platforms integrate in with OpenSea. And let's see what, let's go to partners. How about that? I had a good screenshot, and let me see if I can find that. I take a lot of screenshots, so it might take me a minute.
Hey, while you're doing that, just real quick to the audience, how many of you guys, or if anybody, have you guys ever minted an NFT or any of you photographers, designers, creatives in whatever way that you would like to participate in the creation of the NFT?
I've minted one on Rarible once, but it was clunky at best. It was more to troll a friend.
Excellent. Can you talk about the process on that? How hard was it? What was clunky about it? What worked?
Rarible is a very easy way to do it. I think they're on Ethereum only. I'm not sure. I haven't checked probably in a few months, but it's a step-by-step process to upload an MP4 or an image or whatever to the site, and it takes care of the rest, and then you're done, and then it'll be on OpenSea just like that in your wallet.
Yeah, so I just shared the screenshot in the TokenTown channel as far as the opportunities that are linked with OpenSea. So it's Rarible, Mintbase, Cargo.
Hey Blurs, sorry to interrupt. Were you able to change or are you able to change the design or image without changing any of the underlying value of the technology later?
I can't definitively answer that question. I'm pretty sure once it's there, it's there. But I'm not sure, because I've seen NFTs that where the NFT is issued and the image is generated later, like the alien, whatever that I think Poopster actually got me into, these 3D animated creatures that are computer generated. So you get the token, it's in OpenSea, and it just shows this little like loading thing, and then finally like half hour later you finally get it. But I can't say definitively. I guess it depends if the image is stored on the blockchain itself, or the data are on the blockchain, the image is actually centrally stored. I think that's like how CryptoPunks were originally done, and then they were moved into the blockchain completely. Don't hold me.
Yeah, that's good feedback. It was more of a question of, can we throw up something that's a little bit more generic, and then maybe later on if somebody has a beautiful image that everybody still has their order, their voting rights, all their stuff, just a beautiful image instead of something that's generic.
And I was trying to get some, I was going through the process. So Mintbase, I spoke about them yesterday, and I wasn't aware, but looking here again at this OpenSea as far as the collections, Mintbase, it looks like, is one of the integrations on OpenSea. So Mintbase was interesting as far as how that they are really focused on being a utility NFT platform. And I was going through the process on my TokenTown DAO ETH, like it was kind of painful, honestly. Like for whatever reason, I couldn't get the TokenTown near wallet set up, and that was, I spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to do that. One of the options that it was getting, and I don't know if anybody has a gate.io account, but one of the other opportunities to get the TokenTown near wallet set up is sending a minimum of 0.1 near. So if somebody could figure that out here, because Mintbase, from what I was seeing, was the most exciting as far as providing a utility platform and the scalability. They were one of the crypto.com features, and Near has a, I think, 1 year parties coming up in Lisbon, Portugal, which I guess Lisbon is kind of a hot spot globally for crypto development these days. But if somebody wants to try to help me figure that out so that we could get the TokenTown, because I don't want to set this up under my own personal Near account. I would rather do it under a tokentown.near account and see if we could start figuring out the mint base. This is the platform that was the most exciting NFT factory that I was liking the most. So let me get back on track. That's some food for thought if people want to kind of like explore that. And I think it's that I needed 0.1 because that's for whatever reason it wasn't letting me validate the wallet here, and that was one of the necessary components. So I was just getting back to this proposal here in Snapshot. And one of the things I'm actually thinking here, instead of pulling the trigger on this, because we've got the, what is it called? The, and I think it's almost closed. Let's see how long that I had this running. So until 4, so that's only in an hour. One of the things that I was wanting to do is reward or do this airdrop. And that's kind of a fun live stream that I'm going to put after we get done here to do this airdrop. And where I was going with that is I'm going to wait on this and the other proposal so that the people that will receive our newest REtoken holders can actually vote in the proposals that I'm going to create here, where we've got some of the next action items. This is the big one here, in my opinion. This is another DAO milestone that we're actually legally updating with our articles of organization, Wyoming Secretary of State, to reflect the DAO that we functionally stood up in September and won the Decentralized Governance Hackathon. And want to bring that open real quick here, because this was another thing that did last night on that midnight airdrop, was completed the transition of 5 million. And the reason that we did 5 million is because we're still working. And I want to bring that up here because this is on our Coinvice, and I've got it right here. So that's very convenient. So here's the Coinvice dashboard. And the reason that we only moved 5 million is I'm really enjoying the Coinvice dashboard and the capabilities. The challenge is that they don't have Gnosis safe integration yet. One of the reasons that I like it is that, especially, and this is just something that they pushed out here during their version 3 update, was that it now shows the right here. So like it shows a nice little summary just on the main feed, the airdrops that I did here last night. So this was for the TDP 6, and TDP is Treasury Distribution Proposal. And this was for a couple weeks ago, the weekly Treasury distribution. And I have a screenshot where I think I actually put it in the Discord channel here too. So let me bring that open just to kind of break down things so that everybody, that's the nice thing about these working groups too, is that is to kind of get up to speed, because some of the stuff like happened last night. So on this one, the voting proposals here. So one of the things here, so like with this one, let's just do the search on this. This was for TDP, which one? I think it was 6. Let me switch back. Yeah, TDP 6. So we can just do not 6.6. So here's some threads. Here's the thread right here, jump right here. So there's the thread on this. So here's the screenshot that I was talking about. This is our Google Worksheet season tracker for just what was distributed in TDP6. And that's I'm liking that real well, where we're just utilizing the weekly distribution proposal. And then the more that we can be thought, and this is again, I've already talked about the upcoming community tools. Hopefully everybody will prioritize that, because that'll be a lot of fun where we really get to talk more about bringing more levels of automation. Because as you could imagine, I'm not necessarily a fan of the secretary or the accounting work that I had to do to create this. And this is something that Dax also contributed to, as well as Tyler. So thank you, Tyler, for the help that you did on that, and Dax as well. And that's other opportunities that we have to be involved more, like co-hosting or hopefully even hosting our weekly community calls. But anyway, getting back on track with our agenda here for today. This is one of the things I was wanting to show you real quick, was our Gnosis Safe, because this is relevant for today, because we also are going to be doing stuff with TokenTown. So this is the main REtoken Gnosis Safe, and here's the one for TokenTown DAO. This is one that we did some stuff with on yesterday's working group. And this was a new learning experience for me. We were on Friday, last Friday, when Poopster and I were up in Laramie, Wyoming at the DAO Day for the Wyoming Hackathon. I actually registered several of the Ethereum domains. I didn't know what type of interest may have gotten from people participating in that hackathon. Didn't materialize. So, but I did register the domains while I was there. And if you didn't see it, I did get, and this was one of my more proud moments. I'm not a huge fan of politicians, but Cynthia Loomis, the senator of Wyoming, who is very pro crypto, I did get a picture with her that I posted on Twitter, and that was on my Twitter thread for Wyoming DAO Day. So that was a special dynamic where I got to thank her in person for helping move the Wyoming DAO law. And that's one of the things that we're looking to do here on today's working group, is register TokenTown DAO in Wyoming as a wholly owned subsidiary. So, but anyway, you're seeing the ENS. This is something that we set up yesterday. This is an important component for setting up our snapshot. The reverse is already in place here, and this is all managed under the Gnosis Safe. This is an area of opportunity of migrating what we've already done with REtoken. Like right now, the Ethereum REtoken DAO.eth is maintained by and owned by the MetaMask.
Homage to action-adventure mythology, mischaracterized by the ignorant as parody.
And going on here, so looking back at our agenda, so I was doing the proposal. I'm going to hold off on that till we do the other stuff, same one with the others. So does anybody have any questions or thoughts as far as the legal entity structuring? Or the
only my own curiosity, because I was gonna I mean, the timing of it, I couldn't get around to it, but we were gonna look into finding like a company, you know, or a firm to do it for us. Did you end up just doing it all on your own, or what was your path?
So here's the thoughts. We're, as a component of this, one of the things, and this is just based on my own personal experience and our personal experience dealing with attorneys, is the more that you can come prepared with all that you kind of like how you want things. Because I would really like our operating agreement to be in a legal repo on GitHub, where it's right there where somebody can see that. And that's something that we may need to put some restrictions in place as far as who can potentially edit that. And I think that that's a capability of GitHub. But going back to the question there, Blurs, was the more that you can bring to the table as far as like, here's where we're at now, here's what we've done, and please just provide a nice little refinement to that from a legalese standpoint. But like, one of the things that we want to do is to keep things as easy as possible, because the more legalese that you start putting in stuff, the more complicated that it makes it. And that, in my opinion, makes it more likely to, you know, fall under legal action. And at the end of the day, if you're operating ethically and doing the right thing, that also substantially reduces the risk exposure. And one of the things that's fabulous about this Wyoming DAO LLC law is that within our operating agreement, we can actually eliminate any fiduciary responsibility for us as members of the LLC. And that's, again, one of the benefits of doing business in a state like Wyoming. And Wyoming is only working on providing a better foundation. I mean, that's one of the things that, like, why they were hosting the Wyoming DAO or the hackathon there in Wyoming. And that's not the first year that they've had that. So to circle back on that, I believe that that's one of the opportunities that we have here, and this was something that I broke down a little bit better on the previous working agenda, and I'm going to scroll back to that over here, which I think is this bottom card. And this is something else that I'm wanting everybody that's on here to continue to think about throughout this process is, who are some solution partners? So, and this is what I've got. It's the ongoing thoughts. We need to be continually thinking about who can we get a letter of commitment or support from, not only in the next few days, but it's not even a requirement. And looking over here at our project page on the for this TokenTown, the American Made Solar Prize, in here we've got the finalized submission package, and the letters of commitment or support that I'm talking about here in this first. And this is, remember, ready. That's where we're at right now. That's what the deadline is for October. And we're wanting to have our submission package finalized, all the details, by October 4th. So as you can see here, this letters of commitment or support is optional. Right now, that's one of the opportunities, though, that we have to differentiate ourselves, is getting those. I mean, the more conversations that we can have, and to circle back to the legal, which is what triggered this in the first place, is like here we're looking at deploying TokenTown, the first one in Colorado. So there's attorneys that specialize as HOA attorneys. So the opportunity to engage them and say, hey, here's what we're wanting to do, and basically like create a RFP process with the attorney. And, you know, they've got interest of, you know, being their client, because that could be potential more business for them here in Colorado, where they're licensed. And then also on that flip side, we're obviously DAO LLCs, be plural, like after today, we'll have TokenTown DAO. We also have OZ Fund DAO. Like one of the conversations that I had earlier today was with Easy Do It. I think I mentioned that already, so not going to circle back on that. So that absolutely is an opportunity, Blurs, is to start having the conversations. And the more that we're open and communicating together as far as efforts that are being done on that, and just working collaboratively as a team. And this is one of the things that I think, like getting a more collaborative tool like Figma. And I'm going to add this as a bullet point. And I'm going to start playing around with this between now and tomorrow's working group. And just to put this out here for some expectations, because we're already halfway through today's working group session. I don't even have it on here for today. So let me actually modify this question.
Hey guys, what does anybody think about proposing anybody that comes up with a letter of support from could get REtoken for that? Because one of the things that we're really big on rewarding work of any type, and the letters can be from real estate professionals, developers, politicians at any level, community leaders. I mean, it's pretty broad based. We're just more looking to show that this is not going to be a community fight. This is really something that's going to solve a lot of problems in a lot of different communities. Is anybody interested in
and to make
reaching out to your network and talking about that?
To make it even easier, not even saying, hey, can you give me a letter of support? Say, hey, I would like to make an introduction. And you're basically introducing the potential connection that you know to our project, and whether it's a connection you know, or whether it's something that you want to drive the conversation for, is just introduced to the TokenTown team here. And And again, that's one of the benefits of going through and saying, hey, I want to be on the official HeroX.com team, is that we have that private channel where those conversations are happening. So instead of even thinking, because we'll help get the letter of support, just make the introduction and arrange the date and the time, or just say, hey, like, let's start this conversation, and then we can take it from there. So I think that that's great, Tyler, and I would say, like, you know, add that to the Trello board, and that introduction. Let's throw 25 retokens on that, because the more that we can get, drive the conversations, because not just with there's lots of opportunities, I mean, to fill various solutions in what we're creating here.
I'd say, I mean, any contributions at all, I mean, a letter would be, I mean, that I think you're worth a lot more than 25 or 50 personally.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would
Yeah,
embrace
I'm
that
open.
where
I'm open on the amount. I was more interested. I guess the question was more, do you guys feel bought in enough to this project that you'd feel comfortable going to the professionals in your network and saying, hey, this is something I'm associated with. Can I introduce you? Would you write a letter? Would you like to listen to a working group? What, you know, whatever buy-in they want to do. Is that
well,
like,
and just don't complicate it with writing the letter. Say, hey, like, there's a project that I would like to make a connection for, and then let that conversation develop organically. Because a lot of times, like, an ask like that, because the first thing that comes to mind a lot of times is, oh my goodness, they're asking me to do something, and instead of, like, because the value proposition here is that this is absolutely an opportunity for whoever that you're making the introduction for, because I really believe that when we deliver TokenTown, that this could be one of the most epic crowdfunded stories of all time.
Can you say again, maybe, like, who this letter is supposed to be from and what it's supposed to say and what it's like? Because, like, my first thought is, well, why don't we get, like, our partners, like maybe somebody from the UMA team to write a letter?
So the community support letter in the application is, number one, it's optional, and number two, it's a little undefined. It's basically saying, do you have community support? So we are taking that to mean, what kind of broad-based support could we show that, you know, politicians want it in their community, and realtors want it, and developers want it, and people in the crypto space want it, and people at this group and that group. I don't know that it necessarily matters which groups are for it. We're just trying to cover all of our bases, all the partners that are going to be involved, trying to get letters from as many people in each of those groups as possible.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'm asking is, am I pointed in the right direction with maybe asking the UMA team to write
well,
what I think would be support?
What I think would be better, Poopster, is to figure out how, like, you know, here we're launching a new social token for TokenTown and TokenTown Colorado. So there may be an opportunity to integrate specifically with TokenTown, with UMA's project, as far as how that we're, and UMA could be a solution partner for this software that we're architecting. So, you know, and the more detailed that we can make the submission, the more that just, and that's the thing, is that this is, again, the first of three. This is the ready, and then the second one, assuming we win ready, will go to set, and then it's go. So we this is going to be like a month's, like October 5th is just the submission deadline for round 5 here. And like, we won't even know the determination of that until December. So we're going to have all the time between now and sometime in December to, because make no mistake, this is a project that Mrs. Yonks and I are 100% committed to, regardless of what happens with the American Made Solar Prize. This is something that we're going to proceed with bringing to reality here in Colorado. So But that being said, we are expecting that we're bringing a very strong submission for both the hardware and the software track. And the more that we can do to, you know, and I don't think that we're going to have too much time to like finalize a letter of support unless those conversations are already transpiring. Like I do have a firm commitment with 2 conversations that have already had to get hopefully a letter of support from both of those. But that's the thing, going back again to the submission requirements, it's not even required here in this first phase. So like, that's just a bonus in my opinion. These are the other things that we really need to be focused on, is refining our narrative. And like those that are gifted in the markdown, like make sure, and this is one of the things that I'm wanting to structure a little bit better in like going here to REtoken DAO. So let me link this up here. If you're not on GitHub, I would encourage you to be, because this is a way that you can learn more. Like, it's the markdown language is pretty easy, but then one of the other things that I'm expecting that will put into place, especially if we get good at using GitHub, is that there's the opportunity to automatically, using some tools that exist, GitHub contributions can be weighted and incentivized automatically with REtoken rewards. So if you want to join the team on GitHub, which I'm encouraging, especially the people that have gone through, here's the link for that, and send me a DM on Discord or wherever, and I can actually invite you here through the organization page. So real quick, while I'm on GitHub, this is like to kind of show the opportunity to really look at splitting things up here. Like OZ Fund DAO is another DAO that we've got, Crypto House. So the more that we can split this up, as far as, because the hardware to power the server stack in the Crypto House, you know, that would be a thing that could fall under the hardware bucket in this project, because that's one of the things that we believe over time will make the housing more affordable, which is one of the unique value propositions that we're looking to do here. But we also need to keep in mind that this is an American-made solar prize. So we want to focus heavily on the solar. And at the end of the day, I think, again, going back to, I think the real secret sauce in this is the unique capitalization that we're looking to bring to market, utilizing the security tokens here that we're going to, and that's one of the key components of our submission too, as far as the software track. And that's something that we can, again, pad out over time and bring together. So anyway, let's go back. I'm gonna go on mute here momentarily and get a refill on the iced tea, but I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts as far as what we've been talking about so far. I know that I've thrown a lot of information. A lot of this is repeated from some of the previous sessions, but maybe in a slightly different manner. So how's everybody feeling with the execution strategy thus far?
Well, what I was asking is, do I need to get a letter of support from UMA, or should I get one? I think
Yes,
that's
I
really
think that would, yes, you should. That'd be wonderful. And we can send you some draft language and some bullet points to include on that. But yeah, if all the founders or leaders or whatever want to sign one letter, or if they each want to sign their own for the kind of the bulk effect, but whatever is easier is fine. We would love to have the UMA group support this, and we would love to have them get involved if they want to. So either, both would be ideal.
Can people hear me or no?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
Oh, hey. Poopster just gave me this link, and I just am listening in. And I was curious about if you guys have reached out with like Energy Web or any of like the solar manufacturers or distributors in the US. And then also I was thinking about, I've been listening to some stuff by DAO House, which is like a DAO based on Polygon, and they have kind of they're planning on like some type of location. And then I was thinking also One Hive, which is like a pretty large size DAO out of XDAI, and just in terms of like you would want investment from solar companies, and so that's where the energy web comes in, that type of thing. And then you would want the DAO component is kind of like it's like a cooperative media or a cooperative small business incubator type location thing, and that sort of thing would be helpful, I think, for you know, if they were to join your project with a house or something like that, then you would kind of get this like a built-in media outlet type situation, which could be useful for like, you know, what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
I don't
those are all
know.
great ideas. Do you have connections with any of those groups you just mentioned?
No, I mean, I just heard about Energy Web listening to Chico Crypto, and then they're like DeFi plus solar. That's what I heard, and it's just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then DAO House, I've been around them and listened to some stuff, but I don't have. I mean, you could go to their server, and you would probably have probably been a better time connecting than I would. I was in the One Hive area for a while. I don't think their execution is super strong for like hopping into this thing. I think DAO House would be stronger, but I think the ideas are kind of the best that I have. And then the other thing to suggest in the non-crypto sense is that I know that in the state of Colorado, there's a lot of housing cooperative type stuff. I was in a housing cooperative in Madison, Wisconsin, and there was actually like a national housing cooperative type organization that came out of Colorado, because apparently there's quite a few in Denver or something. And these housing co-ops, they're like a big house with like 10 to like 20 people that live inside of them. And they're usually like students. And they represent like a really progressive and cooperative, like, you know, like they're like DAOs, but they're mostly illiterate of crypto as far as I'm aware right now. And so if you were to take crypto out of the situation, you would, that's the nearest cultural body that I could think of that would be interested. And then the way that you would convince them, I would guess, would be like talking about the incentives that have to do with, you know, solar and DeFi and stuff. That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, those are all great ideas. So as far as the thing in Madison, were you living in it or were you just aware of it? Do you have any connection with that group?
Yeah, so I was living in there for about 2 years. Yeah, but yeah, the one that I was thinking of is there's like it's like some type of national organization that's focused on co-ops. And I was a note taker in the Madison community. So Madison Community Co-op, it's like 12 houses or something in a little network. And they have like a little central government. And I was like, basically, I don't know, I was just watching most of the time. And then, so they paid some people to come in and they talk about co-op-y things, you know, like consultants or learning or whatever. And so that would be the people that I would target, would be like these groups, these like larger housing co-op infrastructure meta groups or something, because they've got the in with all of the different houses and all the different people who work in administration in those places. And I think your goal would be something along the lines of like, you would want to have one of your projects, for example, be or something that maybe sponsor existing houses to convert them, or you would want to have your own house and have them come to you. And then it's just sort of like, if you wanted younger people who like collective living and you wanted to onboard them into crypto, that would be a strategy.
And what was your name again?
Kyle. Yeah.
Kyle. Hey, thanks for being on, Kyle. So like check out this idea for NFT utility. So like one of the things that we Tyler and I are wanting to do for the house that we'll be living in is to have permanent roommates. And one of the things we were talking about co-ops, Tyler and I are huge fans of co-ops. These are a list of domains that we currently have possession of. EV.coop is one that we've had for several years now. That's going to be a fabulous domain. And that's one of the proof of concepts that we're wanting to deploy in here. And we believe that that could also be a segue into car share co-op or driver co-op, and then like green co-op. Obviously, you know, green just in and of itself is a big category. And like you mentioned some specific co-ops, like Zip co-op is like one of the other dynamics, and we could go off on a rabbit hole on the co-ops, but that's one of the things to circle back to the legal entity conversation. So just putting that out there, I'll actually throw a screenshot of this in here too, because these are resources that we have at our disposal, and we would really like to see more cooperative businesses thrive. The going back to, and it's funny you mentioned the energy web. That's actually a tab that I have had open. It came up in some conversations that I was in something else. I don't know what that's going to actually look like. I think that there's even potentially another solution partner, because one of the things that's going to be so fabulous about doing an entire subdivision like what we're architecting here with TokenTown is that we have the opportunity to be our own micro grid. So like, instead of necessarily having to have like battery redundancy in each and every house, maybe it makes sense to like have like a more dense battery installation, you know, maybe in a parking garage for our neighborhood or whatever. That, you know, the opportunities are unlimited, but then we believe that we can create this net positive energy community. And with us having our own microgrid, that's functionally what we'll have. So we can absolutely be a player. And I think that we should go through and become a member as not only REtoken DAO, but we also have like, we're going to be creating another legal entity here, TokenTown DAO. So we could become a member as both of those, because, you know, the opportunity over time, like right now, it's the same people, but over time, you know, it's going to have a different reach. Like the people that are in TokenTown might be a completely, fast forward 6 or 12 months from now, a completely different group of people that are in REtoken. Because like one of the other opportunities, and to go back to my GitHub organizations page, that's reflected in here as well. Like we've got Crypto House, OZ Fund DAO, and stuff like that. So like this one, 3Wind DAO and 4Christ DAO, those are some private foundations, 501c3, because the other fabulous thing about these security tokens is that we have the opportunity to integrate into every security token that we issue an impact investing component. So just let that like ferment there from an idea standpoint. But that's one of the things that, again, like we have the flexibility of architecting an impact investing component with each and every security token we issue.
Hey, Kyle, sorry, ignore screaming baby. Kyle, are you in touch with these people from Madison that you mentioned, that your housemates or the coordinator?
It was a couple of years ago, but you would just, so I guess I'm not really, what am I saying? I don't know if I'm clear on what the value proposition is for them, how you would be helping them out. I think your question to me is like, can I send an email to the admin and then have them contact you or something like that? But what am I exactly asking? How are they benefiting?
Well, there's a couple things. If they want to go outside of traditional funding routes, I'm not sure how the original Madison Co-op got funded, if it was through mortgage or a bunch of individual donors or whatever, but part of it is, do they want to have the national reach enough to just talk to them about what we're doing to see if they can, if you can broker an intro. And yeah, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna calm the girl.
Okay.
So looking back at our agenda here, does anybody have any more thoughts as far as the NFT? I know that we were talking on that topic about a half an hour ago or something, but did anybody do any additional research on that? Is that something that we should try to move forward with here today or not?
I reached out to a friend who I thought might be able to help us. regarding the NFT. He's got a lot of experience with NFTs, and so.
Hey, Poopster, it's me.
Okay, well there it is. There you go. I figured as much. So that's yeah. So that's awesome that Kyle showed up, and he's the man when it comes to NFT. And also, just to throw this out there, I just registered greencoop.eth. So thanks for that, Yonks. But yeah, so that was my kind of idea when it came to the NFT. He's got a lot more experience in dealing with things like this. He's minted several, and he's a creator. So he would definitely be somebody I think that we should consult if we did want to do that.
But the biggest thing that I was struggling with was getting the tokentown.near account set up, and I probably could have done it a little bit better now that I'm thinking through it, but I was just trying to figure out how to get some near into the account, and they don't have enough liquidity where it was as easy as I was hoping that it would be.
Why is it you wanted to use what was the purpose of that?
That's Mint base is built on near.
I see. But you can mint a token on Polygon with Mint base or no?
I don't know enough about the technical capabilities of how that it works behind the scenes. I think it's on near, but one of the things that I was, and I didn't see that yesterday, but it does look like that they are on OpenSea as far as one of the integration collection capabilities. And I think I put it in as .io. That was the screenshot that I was sharing earlier, is the mint on Rarible, mint on Mintbase, mint on Cargo, mint on Mintable, mint on Zora. Zora was another solution. And I think, so let's continue to think about that. I'm going to go through now and move forward with the minting of the social tokens. I might have to kick a couple poly over to, let me see where my window is for that. But was wanting to get the social token minted here, because then we'll use that with the .eth to set up our, and DAO House is a really good, like you mentioned DAO House. I actually was talking to Deacon, and that's a great idea because they are a large prominent figure in the DAO space. But I did catch up with Deacon, who was speaking on behalf of DAO House here at the Wyoming DAO Hackathon. So I'm going to reach out to Deacon Brown from DAO House and see if we can foster that conversation as far as them being a potential solution, because I do think that they have within that architecture there at DAO House, which is basically, from what I understand, Moloch DAO version 2.0. I haven't personally been involved in any DAOs or set it up. I do know that setting up Snapshot was pretty easy when we did that last month for REtoken here.
What are you guys trying to do with the NFTs? Like, is it like a fundraising thing, or are you trying to, is there like a specific purpose that you have for them?
Yeah, so it's one more of a social proof. So this will show that there's 32 people that love this TokenTown proof of concept, where they're like, hey, I want, because one of the utilities that it will provide is a governance mechanism, and we're looking at doing a hybrid governance with NFT plus social tokens. So that will be one of the contributing, where the NFT will have a higher weight since somebody's putting one Ethereum skin in the game. And really, I'm hoping that it can be, and that's one of the things that I want to curb to the people that want to put the skin in the game. Because also think of this as far as like, that's one of the reasons that we're throwing out the additional REtoken for registering on the Hero X, is that provides social proof to whomever is like, hey, look, this many people thought that this was a good idea, that they signed up for the team. And then like this many people not only thought that the project was that good, where they put that they wanted to throw in one Ethereum to be involved. And then one of the other benefits is that can be a an opportunity, and I absolutely do believe that it will be an opportunity how we're looking at architecting the tokenization of these deals in the new subdivision that we're creating. Because again, with TokenTown, we're wanting each parcel, each opportunity, each qualified opportunity zone business to be a tokenized security token offering. So we believe that there'll be an economic opportunity for the people that have the parcel, whether they're wanting to have their own crypto house, and haven't spoke that much about crypto house as far as the proof of concept, but that's really the underlying how that Mrs. Yonks and I, why that we went so far down these crypto rabbit holes is because of the financing that we couldn't get for building out our crypto house proof of concept. And I got encouraged to make my vision bigger with crypto house. So instead of looking at doing one crypto house to deploy that proof of a concept, we're wanting to build out a whole TokenTown neighborhood of crypto houses.
Okay.
So does that provide a little additional utility explanation on the NFT for TokenTown?
Yeah, so you want the NFTs to be like keys or badges that are representing ownership of a parcel in TokenTown?
A founding citizen, no, because the parcel will be different. This is just a governance mechanism, and it's more of a skin in the game, and it's not going to necessarily have any rights on any specific. It's going to have a priority for that parcel. The tokenization and the entity, because you don't actually tokenize a parcel, and this is one of the things that other projects are really missing the boat on, is you have to have a legal entity representing whatever. Because at the end of the day, if there's fractional interest in almost any type of dynamic, it could be very easily construed as a security. And that's one of the reasons that we are looking through this opportunity. And then also just because we don't always want to be looking in the rearview mirror, and we're going to be intentionally operating in a compliant, working with people, companies that have their SEC registration. There's really, and I'm going to go off on this tangent because there's a good audience right now on our working group. Here in the US, there's really 3 securities considerations. There's the broker dealer. And I think I spoke about earlier, Mrs. Yonks and I really love the opportunity to create community-owned situations. We believe that there's a big difference between somebody that's a renter versus somebody that's an owner, and fostering more community-owned opportunities. And that's really what TokenTown is going to be. And the regulation crowdfunding broker dealer fits that requirement. The other thing that's necessary is you need a registered transfer agent. The SEC does not recognize the public blockchain for chain of custody. That's functionally what the registered transfer agent provides. Vertalo is a well-respected player in the registered transfer agent space. They just recently, Teresa and I were both at Vertalo's Digital Assets and Securities Conference. The other one is the ATS, the Alternative Trading System. Now, here in the DeFi space, everybody's familiar with DeFi dexes such as Uniswap. Somebody mentioned OneHive. OneHive has HoneySwap. I was on a Shapeshift call, community call, or governance call where OneHive with HoneySwap was on there. So familiar with OneHive and HoneySwap. So the ATS, going back here, the ATS is not a prominent figure or well known right now because digital assets and securities like security tokens are very, 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 very tiny in the overall crypto space. But what's going to happen here is that once everybody realizes that there's, and I believe that's one of the things that I believe that TokenTown, a project by REtoken DAO, where we're uniquely positioned because everybody's telling me how creative that this project is when they hear about it. And that's one of the reasons that everybody's getting so excited because 1, people don't like HOAs. And 2, I mean, that's something that you don't even have to say the word blockchain. And people are like, hey, if you've got a solution for solving this HOA problem, I'd love to hear it. Because at the end of the day, I don't think developers like necessarily doing HOAs. It's just something that they know works and they're able to develop their houses. So that's the opportunity that we have through what we're creating here with TokenTown is to create an alternative HOA solution. And that's not even talking about us creating our own crypto native crypto houses in a true blown like TokenTown.
So to follow up, I'm trying to connect this with my experience. So there's these like small little sub communities, kind of like gated communities, but maybe not, or tract housing or something. They open up development on large parcels. A lot of houses that are very similar come in, and then they become this thing, and then they try to like fill them up with people. Your TokenTown is basically like a parcel, and it would have like, I don't know, 100 houses or something on, like, or a group of parcels, like, and then your HOA substitute is the governance or the priority access for the people who would move into this location. Is that accurate?
Well, and it's even better than that, because like when you think about the traditional process of building a neighborhood, there's no community that exists in a normal new subdivision context. And that's the unique opportunity that we have here, is to build community before we even talk about building a neighborhood, where people can get to know each other before any construction ever happens.
So I have a different train of thought if you were interested. There's
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So in this community example that I was thinking of, there's like, you know, parks for like parks and recreation, and they're related to, so it's like, imagine a small community on a hill, and not too far away, like 1 or 2 miles, there's like the regular community. And then the subdivision is like, well, we need schools, we need parks, you know, these like probably stores, like a co-op store, like these types of situations. And so a good way to plug in would be like, you know, you would be making partnerships with these people in a specific location, so that, and you would be offering them specific value. And so the biggest value that I could think of is this like solar mining, solar ETH validation combination with like DeFi treasury management or something. So you're like saying, we can help you have a more efficient energy structure. We can help you manage your treasury like better, you know, and then you can help us fund this thing, which will later on help your community thrive more. And looking at it like that, you're not, your focus narrows down to like what co-ops are in this area, what grants from the city, this specific local city are in this area, like, and then you also want to think of like, you know, is it just a house, or is it better if you do, because I think the DAO house thing, I was thinking more of like a working cooperative of, you know, people that are getting together, and they're each, you know, because it's really hard to like co-own a business together in terms of like, you know, the peanut factory of whatever that calls, nut butters, there's a nut butter co-op or whatever, like that requires a large level of coordination. But like a lot of times in these co-op houses, everyone's got their own kind of job, and they're bringing their own kind of like situation to it, and they're bringing like, but if you had a way that was like I'm in a co-working space right now in Astoria, Oregon, and it's pretty amazing, but everyone's doing their own thing. But it's like, if there was a co-working space and you were to talk to the owner, and then you're like, you know, listen, we can help you with group treasury management. We can help you with like solar stuff. We can install these like, I don't know, miners or something like that. I don't know what the deal is exactly, but that raises the floor of the, you know, the like, it diminishes the cost that the overhead. It helps everyone be a little bit higher floating, and then their jobs are easier, and then that allows them to be. But this is more of a poverty level thinking, like, or I guess you could talk about it in terms of like a business. Like if you're, I'm just like, if you're paying like $200 or like $500 for a room or something like that, that's the type of thing that I'm talking about here. But you could use the same approach and think of it in terms of like businesses that are bigger. I'm just like,
yeah,
if
no,
you're,
that's actually a really good way to think about it. So just to give you an example, so Jason and I are based in Denver.
Yeah.
If you want a room and a private bathroom, it's gonna in a house here, it's gonna be somewhere around $800 to $1,000. It's gonna market price here. So instead of you renting that as a roommate situation, you could potentially buy it as a limited cooperative, and then you could sell it later or sell it back to the house. So that
Yeah.
those are just different things that we've been thinking about. And it's not a poverty mindset. It's a way of saying, if you're paying $2,500 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment, trying to save money for a $600,000 house, which is the Denver market, it's not gonna happen. So we really have a passion for low barriers to entry and turning renters into owners. And that's a huge nexus of this project, to give
Yeah.
more people access to the capital.
Yeah, I think that that's awesome. And I think that that's sort of great because it replaces, if I don't have it, there's a type of thing, it's called a condo, right? Like condos, maybe once upon a time, they used to be sort of like this affordable stepping stone towards a house, but now condos are basically like small houses or something. Like, I don't know exactly what the market looks like in Denver, but like, you know, the point being, like, there's a big gap, and it often has to do with like how much money you're making. And the great thing about DeFi and crypto, and it's like a bunch of tools for small businesses, you know, and that's what the DAOs are doing. So like, I think I think this also about co-ops. You know, when I was living in co-ops, I was thinking, well, let's build some small businesses so we can all work together and like try to figure out a way to, you know, make our rent, and then we can have more time to pursue things that are compelling to us and blah, 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 as opposed to sort of like wage slaving elsewhere to sustain a position. And I feel like if you're looking for fundraising money, then I would look into like utilities or like business coordination stuff, you know, and that goes back to Energy Web or like DAO House or DAO Structures or
Well, something on the fundraising side we're really passionate about is keeping the tokens cheap, like under $1,000, preferably somewhere between $100 and $1,000, so that we're not looking for a venture capitalist with $10 million to come in and fund everything. Because we've actually already started to get those offers. Jason and I were at a conference, and this guy made a beeline over to us. He said, "How do I start writing checks? I want to fund this entire project." We said, you know, we appreciate it, but number one, we're not quite there yet. Number two, we don't want one guy to fund the entire thing. We want 1,000 guys to fund a little piece of it, and then all take ownership of it together.
Yeah, and that sounds really nice. I think the only thing that I would just like to narrow in on again is that I like people in this situation. I'm thinking like people that don't have to have like a location and are also working to support like you know, other businesses or like, you know,
hey Kyle, this is all super valuable. Sorry, Jason. Hey, this is super valuable. I'd love to follow up with you on this. I just realized we're getting close on time, and I wanted to circle it back to the working group. But let's make a point to follow up on this offline, because what you're saying is super valuable.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Kyle, welcome to the group. Please be a member of our solar price contest. We have the software and the hardware available.
Okay, I'll look into it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for joining the group. I really appreciate that. Glad you took the time to do that.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, Poopster. I appreciate it.
And we're just getting started, and those are a lot of the ideas that we are working on executing, Kyle. So there's a lot of people that share similar ideas or ideals as far as, and then the biggest thing is the network effect that we can have through technology, and that's the biggest value proposition, because HOAs with no technology and no like infrastructure that we can bring to the table don't have the capability of having a network effect. And that's something that we can definitely create here with what we're wanting to do through REtoken and also through the TokenTown DAO project. So one of the things I've been working on here, I don't know if anybody was following the screen, but I did just get to the Coinvice profile set up. And this is something that I'm hoping that Coinvice will provide some capabilities with is doing the where was I going with that, the Gnosis safe, and I think that that's on their roadmap right now, just using the MetaMask wallet. And this actually needs to be changed. This is the MetaMask address here that I created. I'll throw this in, let's see where I'll put it, in Discord on the TokenTown, and I think that that's in the meeting notes from yesterday as well. So here's the and I also sent two Polygon or 2Matic or whatever it's called over. You can see the 2Matic that I sent over. That was a transaction that I did here during the working group too. So this is the feed for all of the activities. We're talking about doing a token for TokenTown. So let's go ahead and create a token. This is going to be the T-Town one. So name TokenTown DAO, T-Town, and I think I'm on Poly. Let me make sure. Yeah.
I'm going to ask the question I might have missed. You're not trying to make the NFT right now, are you?
No, we're not. We're not that far along.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping to try out Mint Base, but I wasn't able to get the TokenTown.near set up. And because I already used my cell phone, they had some more KYC than normal. But anyway, I'm still hoping to use Mint Base because it sounded pretty sweet as far as because like one of the, going back, and I don't know if I ever finished that, but like one of the utility cases here where with Tyler and I are obviously wanting to be a founding citizen of TokenTown DAO Colorado. So that's going to be the one for Colorado, TokenTown DAO, the one that we're doing the social token on right now. T-Town is going to be like the master DAO, where we're looking at creating a solid framework here.
Hey guys, you can all mute your phones if you're not talking. They're getting a lot of background.
John can mute everybody if he needs to.
Yeah, I saw that. Let's see. I don't know if we need a description on this. And TokenTown DAO, the HOA Destroyer. Okay, and we're going to just use 10 million. That's the recommended supply. That's what we have minted for. It wasn't even the an option. That's something that they introduced within version 3 here on Coinvice. So I'm going to do a screenshot of this, and this will be start the process. And it's a pretty small amount that you'll see here. And I've not minted a social token here on their version 3, but let's go ahead and do a mint here. Minting token, look at that. T-Town, look at that cool little screenshot there. Token has been minted.
Congratulations. We need to tweet that.
I know. We will do that right now. All right, let's actually, we've got 10 minutes left on the scheduled time here today. Didn't get as much done as was wanting to. Hopefully it provided some good backstory. And right now I'm almost contemplating setting up another working group for tonight, because I would really like, I'm gonna work on seeing if I can get it figured out on getting the TokenTown.near wallet set up. I had a different idea that I wasn't trying earlier to go about that. I'm also going to go through here while offline to go through the process to circle back here to the Trello card of so let's see, the legal entity structuring, and I don't think I actually had this one. Oh yeah, it was a little lower down here was the mint and the social tokens, that because wanted to do that again before doing the legal entity in Wyoming. And the reason for that is I'm going to break this into two little steps here right now, because we haven't done the one for TokenTown DAO or for Colorado. And I don't even think I have a wallet set up, like a MetaMask wallet set up for that. So I'm going to move that one down to another line item. So let's see, we just did this one. Let me get that, go back to the tab for that. Here's the contract address. And I'll put that in over here in a comment. Minted 10 million T-Town on Polygon. So congratulations, everybody. You just saw us mint TokenTown. So just to recap, we are going to be providing to the participants of this, the, what do you call it? POAP is TokenTown, capital T equal T, TokenTown. And that's something that you'll have to claim with. It doesn't exist yet. I'll send out a announcement. I'm not going to include the secret word because really wanting that to be people that were participating on the call. I'll send out an announcement to everybody when that is completed so that you can go in the app, because it's going to have a expiry of, like, what is today? I'll leave it just till the 5th. You know, if somebody wants to watch, I'll try to get these videos uploaded here, but what is, does anybody else want to, because I'm going to be doing some more work, but I would be open for hopping back on here like maybe 9 p.m. Eastern time, and, you know, to keep on going, because I would like to see if we could get this NFT minted today. I'm going to try to do it on mint base, but and figure something out, because my expectation is that if we could get, it doesn't, the thing that's so fabulous is that I'm wanting to get
Hey,
a
Jason,
nicer
can you mute
piece
everybody?
of, yeah. Did that work? Oh yeah. Okay. Now it's quiet. So let me finish this update here. So the thoughts are that's it's 6 now. So in 3 hours, I'm wanting to take a break, and I'm wanting to do some of the stuff offline just to get some, like, the legal paperwork knocked out in Wyoming. And if anybody is just dying to see that, I can definitely curb that until the next working group. But I'm good with hopping back on here at 9, because there's still a lot of stuff that we need to do for that. And just thinking out loud. Feel free to chime in, anybody. We've got 5 minutes left on our scheduled time right now.
Just send the link and we'll just hop on whenever you're on.
Hey, I wanted to throw out to you, is anybody interested in working on parts of the American Made Souls app? We've got some writing to do to answer questions, and we need to make video. We've got a few things that need to get fed. Ready.
Can you post the what you're looking for in the Discord, and then maybe people can sign up or something? We may not have everybody we need in here, and I'm gonna be taking a closer look at things tomorrow.
I think they already
who's not in
posted
our
being a
different-
member. Yeah. Maybe you need to send an invite, Jason, to those that wanted to join again, you know, because they have to sign up as a member.
I think she meant specific tasks, though.
So I was just looking at the agenda here. So I'm going to schedule one for 3 hours, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Hop back on here and I'm going to get some of this stuff knocked out. We'll definitely wait on doing the minting of the social tokens, but really one of the other things that wanting to do is to get the snapshot set up, not necessarily even for T-Town, but for TokenTown Colorado, because that's the one that we're talking about minting the NFT for. And that's one of the other things that I'm going to see if I can figure out this mint base, because I don't, again, want to do the TokenTown store on Yonks.near. I want that to be on TokenTown. So anyway, is there any final thoughts here between now and I mean, don't feel like you need to participate on this. This is just something that I'm spending a lot of time, but besides the time that I'm spending on the working groups to move this forward, because I really believe this submission, the American Made Solar Prize, is our money to lose. And I think that we can structure this, that we can knock down both the hardware and the software tracks. We just need to like present the problem, the solution, the plan, and the team. And that's one of the things over here on the GitHub project page, right here, the narrative. And that's one of the things that there's the opportunity. I'd really like to see us finalize the narrative here. And right now for just the East, because there's probably going to be some things overlapping. I've got this in one page, but I think that we need to break that out into a narrative for the hardware track and a narrative for the software track. So if somebody wants to bring some more, those that have a GitHub account, please send an invite to join the REtoken DAO organization. I'll put a link on here. And that's actually one of the things that I'm going to put forward is anybody that wants to join, I'm going to offer 25 REtoken. Does anybody want to chime in on the thoughts on that? Say, hey, join our team on the GitHub as well, 25 REtokens.
Hey, Poopster, are you able to invite the superhumans and some of those communities to join this thing?
Yeah, I mean, if thing that you can give, like, if you have a message with the link or something, I can just. Sorry, I'm like. Yes, I'm happy to invite them. Is there something specific that I can that you can link me to that I can maybe?
Yeah, I'll put forward.
Yeah,
I'll put forward an announcement.
Okay, that'd be great, and I can forward that onto the superhumans and add a little bit to it. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so anyway, we're here at the 6 o'clock Eastern time hour. We've been going for 2 hours. Got quite a bit done. I'm going to do some of the stuff that was on that list here. And is anybody just dying to see the legal entity registered in Wyoming, or is just seeing like the certificate of good standing? Is that good enough for everybody? Well, actually, no. I'm thinking I'm wanting to do the snapshot, so I'm gonna curb that until after the working group. I'll still have time to get that done, and depending on what goes on in the working group, it's a pretty easy process. I think it normally takes like 5 to 15 minutes to do the articles of organization, but we need to have the snapshot in place. That's one of the things that we'll do here during the next working group. So I'm going to put 3 hours from now. Like I said, don't feel compelled to participate, but if you're available and want to plug in here, welcome to participate, but we've got a lot of work to do. It's October 1st, and we're wanting to have our submission package finalized on October 4th. So we've got a lot to work to do, but we have the team here to doing it, and I'm going to work on getting this more in a manner that people can contribute in a usable manner, as far as from a framework and standpoint like that, to make it as easy as possible for everybody to hop in here and start contributing.
I think we are almost there. It's just putting it down on paper, because we're having good discussions every time.
Yeah, I agree, Amy. And again, one of the other opportunities for the people that go through the process is that we're having a bunch of side conversations, and those opportunities to participate in those side conversations are only for the registered teammates on the Hero X, and besides registering, we're also providing 25 retokens for each the hardware and the software track. So if you do both of those, that's and those that have been earning retokens, you'll know that that's the easiest retokens that have been provided so far for what we're doing here right now. Any final thoughts before we wrap here? And thanks everybody for hanging out. We had, I think right now I'm seeing 15 participants. So thanks everybody for listening in, and excited about what we're creating here. This is a huge need and a huge opportunity to solve not one, but several problems. The HOA is a broken model. And then just most importantly is creating more creative capital solutions, where the thing that's so fabulous about these security tokens is that we, the issuers of the security tokens, get to architect what those smart contracts look like, and we have the opportunity of creating truly win-win-win situations in how we're architecting the security tokens and the smart contracts. Already mentioned about the opportunity for integrating an impact investing component. That's something on any security tokens that I'm personally going to be issuing. And that's, again, one of the opportunities that will be for the NFT holders of TokenTown DAO Colorado, is that they, as long as it falls within the agreed upon dynamic, what's allowed legally as far as what can be put in the subdivision, but then also within the governance mechanism that we're creating, that person that is that founding citizen of TokenTown DAO Colorado will have the opportunity of bringing to market their own tokenized opportunity. Then, and hopefully they'll want to live in that, or whether it's a business opportunity that people are wanting to deploy. We're creating our own neighborhood, everybody, that can be a true solution for the global affordable housing crisis. And through the lens of this American-made solar prize, make the capital more available than some of these solar schemes that I've seen other companies utilizing for deploying solar projects. But anyway, thanks everybody. We'll be back on. There's going to be a lot of working groups here this weekend. We've got October the 4th, literally, I think over 100 grand, if I'm understanding the additional opportunity with the Jedi program, for ours, that I believe it's ours to win. Everybody's super excited. That's why we've got so many people on here right now, and the people that are signing up and joining the Discord and wanting to be involved in this, because it's really exciting. Thanks everybody.
I want to thank Poopster and Kyle for joining in and giving us a different view of this project. Thank you so much.
All righty, I'm going to wrap this, and I'll put the next one coming up on, get that scheduled on Discord and all that I normally do for trying to communicate that as much as possible. But we will see you later. I'm going to stop the share and bring an end to this here. So thanks everybody for participating here today.
Thanks, everybody.